What's up, guys? Stas here. So a pretty strong close in the stock market today. S&P 500 up $14.58, up about 0.5%. But on the flip side, the Dow Jones was actually down $17, down 0.07%. But if we take a look at the NASDAQ, it actually had a ridiculous day, up about 1.5%, up $138 on the day. And in this video, we're going to talk more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, and I also want to share with you guys what I've been doing in the market, as well as a bunch of stocks and ETFs I'm actually looking to trade as we're heading into the month of June here in 2020. So if you guys enjoy the video, find value in it, as always, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and feel free to check all the free links down below in the description box if you want free stocks, if you want to be a part of the Discord chat, Facebook group, all of that is linked down below. So let's get into this video, guys. We'll talk about what happened in the Fed meeting, some very brief notes, and again, we'll get into what I'm watching right now. So the S&P 500, you guys can see if we go on some of these smaller time frame charts, we hit 3070 yesterday, which you guys know, going to this 20-day chart, you know that that was a higher high, so that was a good sign for the bulls out there. And another good sign for the bulls that we got today was we confirmed a higher low on the 20-day chart, and that happens to be right on top of the 50 SMA, and we also closed on top of $3,020, which also happens to be an old resistance. So overall, a very strong day when it comes to technicals here for the S&P 500. The bulls are clearly still in charge, and it makes sense because Jerome Powell is talking today. He's looking to do a lot of Main Street lending right now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And he was going over how a lot of people that are suffering are the people of the lower class, right? And people that obviously have businesses and lower income people. So, and obviously many people are struggling. We talked about how yesterday jobless claims popped over 40 million. That's roughly 4 million per week since the whole crisis started. So America is struggling right now as a whole. There is no doubt about it. But with all the stimulus, all the tools that they're going to use at an unlimited amount of, the stock market's moving, and that's kind of what I credit the market up, the move up today too, and I'm sure many of you guys would do that as well. And when it comes down to the Dow, guys, we had a red day, but the bulls still won the day, and let me explain why. Yesterday, we hit a higher high, 25,750. We topped out at the top of the range, right up, by that resistance that we've been talking about for weeks on the channel, right? So that's telling me, okay, it's getting a bit overheated, it wants to pull down. So today we got the confirmation that, yeah, we're pulling down, but we're also confirming that the uptrend's not done yet. We're seeing a higher low on the 50 SMA. We broke out of the EMA here on the hourly chart, closed at about 25,380. So for me, guys, looking at this, that is a very bullish move here. And in the short term, I'd like to see a breakout of, let's say, 25,450, maybe, 25,500 for the bulls to continue, and obviously we'll see what happens on Monday over the weekend if we get any news. And of course on Sunday I'm going to go over my plans for the upcoming week, the futures market as it opens 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure again to click that subscribe button, and let's talk about the NASDAQ, which again up $140 today. It's right at a resistance that we've been talking about for a couple of days here at 95.60. Take a look, guys. It literally closed right around 95.60, 95.70, which we got rejected at back on the 26th of this month and on the 28th of this month, which was yesterday. So for next week, guys, watch what the NASDAQ does at 95.70. If I were to just take a guess and gamble, my guess is next week or the following week, we hit an all-time high in the NASDAQ. It's crazy to say that, right? Considering a couple of weeks ago, about like 2 months ago, the markets and the NASDAQ was down at, 66, 6,800. Now considering, looking back at that, it's like, holy crap, where have we come, guys? This is insane, right? But yeah, reality is we're right at all-time highs, and at this point, we're about 2 percentage points away, and that could easily happen in a day or two for the NASDAQ, as we've seen it do that many times in the past. So watch those levels in the market, guys. Now, to get into some key, just a couple of notes, nothing crazy, guys. New $600 billion Main Street lending program, which aims to funnel capital to mid-sized businesses with annual revenue of up to $5 billion that do not qualify for emergency relief through the U.S. Small Business Administration. So again, guys, the Fed's doing anything that it can to help Main Street. It obviously helped Wall Street with all of the bonds and the bailouts in these major companies, and it's not going to stop. As long as this CV is dampening the economy, which a lot of the damage is done, but a lot of the damage is still to come, they're going to keep pushing the money stimulus, the printing. So this is not a surprise, but yeah, it's good news if you own a small business, $5 billion, and if you didn't qualify for the Small Business Administration program, the U.S. Small Business Administration loan. So we know that now, and we also understand that Powell doesn't want to go negative on rates. That's something that I'm very happy about, as negative rates, yeah, they could help in the short term, right? Maybe boost the stock market up a little bit, but long-term negative rates are obviously not sustainable, and they are very detrimental to the economy. So the fact that he's sticking to his stance, we're not going negative, I think that's a good sign. So we see that, okay, good, and obviously, like I said, the Fed's using all of its tools. So that's kind of just the brief, a couple of notes, a couple of points that I wanted to point out from the Fed meeting. Yeah, we could talk about more, but I want to focus a lot on the stocks for this video that I'm watching and what I personally did. And I'd love to know, honestly, guys, your comment down below, or your thoughts in the comments down below on the Fed meeting, the stock market in general, and where are we going over the next couple of weeks. I'd love to know your thoughts. Don't be shy. Drop that comment down below. So let's talk about what I personally did in the markets today. If you guys recall, yesterday we went over Costco's earnings, ticker symbol COST, and they actually, I think it was a double miss, believe it or not. Let me pull up my notes from yesterday's video here on my phone. Let's take a look. They reported 189 EPS versus 204, and they reported 37.2 billion revenue versus 37.5. So yeah, that was a double miss. But overall, I was looking to see if this was an overreaction and if the stock was going to fill the gap up back to 310, which is where it was prior to the earnings report. And that's, at the end of the day, that's exactly what happened, right? We dropped down. Ultimately, the overall uptrend held, right, as you guys can see here, which is another thing I was watching that was critical this morning. And if we take a look on the daily chart, or rather the intraday chart here, we notice how, okay, we dropped 302, popped 307. That opened up a $5 window there, and we pulled down 304, popped up 306, pulled down 304 again, and we started to rally back up. And that's actually where I ended up buying. Let me check my notes. I bought in, let's see, I bought in at 304.55. So we popped up 304.55. That's where I ended up scaling in. And the goal was to sell out towards the 307 level. Again, remember, 302 to 307, that was the window that opened in the first, half hour of trading. So I figured, okay, buy at 304.55, and I did exactly that. I sold on the rally up here. I actually ended up holding it for a decent amount of time. I actually held through a bit of pain here. Not pain, but I held through the pull down because I was just following the trend at the end of the day, right? And sometimes trades don't pan out in terms of the exact time that you think. You think, okay, this trade's going to be 30 minutes. Sometimes they pan out, okay, it's 2 hours. And this trade ended up being about a 2-hour trade, but I didn't cut it because the trend was following. So I got in, holding. So I got in 304.50-ish and held through that dip back, the pull down. and I ended up selling at 306.90. So overall, the move was, I think it was about 1%, a little bit under. Yeah, about 0.7%. And that's the only day trade that I made today. And you guys understand, or you guys know that I'm in a couple of swing positions as well. SPCE in particular, Virgin Galactic, and they did very well today. Up about 4%, up 60 cents. And you guys can see the trend is holding heading into the weekend. That's very solid. And we also closed in the 17 level above 1685, 1690, which is an old resistance. So that's a very good sign as well. So heading into next week, SPCE Virgin Galactic at this point looks pretty bullish, at least on some smaller time frame charts, right? Like the 5-day, 5-minute, even the 10-day, 30-minute, it looks very bullish. But if we pull back a bit, yeah, the downtrend is still intact, but next week should be a day or the week where we get direction, and if we pop up $18, $19, watch out above, guys. I think this stock could go back to the $20 level. No joke. I think that could happen. Does that mean you should buy it? Absolutely not. You do your own research. As always, I'm just here giving you guys what I'm doing on YouTube for free, of course, right? So let's take a look at what else I'm in. GDX is something I'm also in. Did pretty well today, up 32 cents, up about 1%, and I'm also liking how on some smaller time frames, GDX is also holding its uptrend reversal pattern heading into the weekend. So I'm personally in at around 34, 40, 50 as of right now. I've been averaging down, and ultimately I'm long on GDX, guys. I'm long gold. Gold did very well today, 1630, but the gold stocks have actually been lagging a bit. So I believe that we're going to see that pop coming, maybe next week, maybe the week after. I just think it's coming at some point, which is why I'm in it as a swing trade. And I also have some $40 call options that are, I believe they expire in September. I believe September 21st, I have the $40 call options. So ultimately, I'm long GDX, long SPCE, and I believe I also have, oh my goodness, guys, I forgot to mention, I think I also have long call options in SPCE for about $35. I have to double check, but I believe I do have some call options there as well that I just bought because, again, I'm long on both of these stocks, I believe, or rather one's a stock, one's an ETF, but ultimately I think they're both going to do very well. So let's go on to some other stocks now that I'm watching. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. So SQ, guys, Square is finally showing some life. So we saw a bit of a pull down, quite a drastic pull down to about $76 from $84. That opened up an $8 window, and over the past 3 days of trading, we had that little V-shaped recovery, and now the past 2 days of trading, it's been consolidating a bit. And for me, I think Square is a buy above $82. We closed at $81 today, but you guys notice how 82 has been the resistance. So for me, I want the bulls to take over that range, to take out that resistance, and from there, I can see the stock gapping up to about $84.50 to $85, which you guys can see is roughly 3 to 4% potential for profit, right? And that could be a nice amount of money if you're trading with 5K, 10K, 20K, heck, even $1,000, 3-4%, that's a $30, $40 profit. You can build an account consistently if you do that, right? And it's more difficult than I may make it sound in these videos, guys. Don't take trading as, oh, this easy get-rich-quick scheme, because it's not. It takes a long time, but once you, it takes a long time to get used to it and to get good at it, but once you get good at it and you found your groove, 3%, if you can stack up wins like that, and of course you get losses along the way, but that's going to be pretty good, right? You're going to be making some pretty good money year after year if you're stacking wins like that. But either way, $84, $82 to $85, that's kind of what I'm looking for here on SQ, and we've talked about how there's even more potential, guys, up to about, let's say, $87, and the all-time high on this stock is in the hundreds. So watch that one. CRM is another one that reported earnings yesterday. Overall, guys, they sold off about 4% today, down about $6.30. But I'm keeping the stock on my watch list because, A, the uptrend is still holding. B, I believe that we're seeing a bit of a break above The moving averages here, the close at the end of the day was pretty solid. We saw strong support at about $170. And ultimately, guys, I'm just watching to see if it can fill the gap up to, let's say, 178. And from there, CRM has broken 178 and rallied up to, let's say, the 183, 184 level multiple times. So that could be a move that we can grab, just get in and out very quickly and be done with it. It could be around a 3 to a 3.5% move. And another stock to watch, and a company here that reported earnings and just got completely decimated, is Canopy Growth. They were down today, guys. Get this, 20%, down $4.35. Pretty drastic drop here, but if you're looking for an entry point, not saying this is one, but this is what you guys have to look for. You have to see and analyze stocks that have, drastically dropped down. You have to see why they dropped down, and then you analyze for yourself, okay, is this worth my money? Is it worth the risk reward, right? And this one, I don't know if it is, because to be honest, I didn't jump too deep into the earnings report quite yet, but you guys can see that ultimately we pulled down from 22. We broke the 2150 support. We broke the 1880 support, and now we're holding, it seems like, heading into the close very strongly at $17. So for me, that's telling me, okay, could this be a bottom in Canopy Growth? It very well could be, so I'm watching it next week to see, are we rallying back up and breaking $18, $18.80 back into the 19 level? If it does, guys, I'll for sure be buying some. And if we take a look at the earnings report, you guys can see, and by the way, I talk about this all the time. If you're on ThinkOrSwim, go to live news, the tab down here on the right. I feel like a lot of people miss that. You get live updates on a lot of these companies when they're reporting earnings. You get to see what's going on with this and that, and it's pretty useful. You guys can see, Canopy Growth, let's see, what are their earnings here? They were down Q4 EPS, Canadian dollars, negative $3.72, so $3.72 in the red, down from $1.10 in the red year over year. So that's kind of what dropped the stock, guys. That massive year over year, deficit there in the EPS has gotten a lot worse. They're losing a lot more money, and their net sales are 107 million Canadian dollars. And that's up from 94 million Canadian dollars from last year. So from a company that's, supposed to be a growth company, which is the MJ, the businesses at the end of the day, although they are going through trouble, right? That's not good. 107 million from 94 million year over year. That's not that great of an increase, and the EPS is bleeding badly. So CGC is it's not doing too well, but that doesn't mean we can't make money in the short term. And again, watch $18, watch $19. These are levels that could be very interesting when it comes down to the stock. And two more, guys, before I end off the video. TGT Target up $4 today, up 3.3%. You guys can see the uptrend is continuing. This is what we love to see, guys. From 128, it pulled down to 114, held that old resistance as a new support. We've seen 3 days consecutively of upwards momentum here on the stock. So for me, this is what I want to see, guys. Again, I love it. We can see here 114, very strong old resistance from a couple months ago, about a year ago. The fact that we held that, broke 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, that's a very strong sign on target. So am I jumping in shares now? Probably not. I'd like to see a pull down, but the first pull down I see, I'm getting in. Similar with Nike, right? NKE. I'm looking for that pull down. We kind of got it today, but I'm looking for a further one, to be honest, guys. If it gets to 95, that's where I'll buy. If it doesn't, I'll probably just stay away. Sometimes that's the best move, guys. No move is a better move. And the last stock I want to talk about is Shopify. You can see here it's holding 750, 720, 30, this general area as a rock hard support. This could be where we end up rallying next week, guys. And let me show you how strong of a support it's been. We've held it the past 2 days. We're seeing a break above moving averages here on the 5-day, 5-minute. That's very strong. So in the short term, term, watch for the break. I'd say above 770. I personally wouldn't touch it unless it got above 770, 780. If it does, guys, that's where a lot of momentum could come in. We could fill the gap up to 850. And mind you, guys, that's about a 9% move. So that's a pretty big move that we can grab. That's if Shopify does give us those technical signs. So overall, guys, that is it for this video. Those are the stocks I'm watching. Some just notes about the Fed meeting, my thoughts about the markets, and just what I've been doing. So if you guys enjoy it, again, if you found value in the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull down below in the description box. Those are valued up to $1,400 with a deposit of $100 into the account. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.